Hi students, good morning. My name is C.H. Kamakshi, Biology CRT, KGBV Dorvasatram, SPSR, Nellore district. I discussed about animal tissues, two types of animal tissues, epithelial and connective tissue. Today I will discuss blood groups and remaining tissues. See students, open your textbooks, page number 32. Lab activity, find your blood relations. Let us find out your blood relatives in your class. For this we need a kit to find out your blood group. Aim, identification of blood group. Material, blood identification kit, glass slide, wax pencil, disposable needle, cotton, toothpick, 70% alcohol. Students, observe table carefully. Procedure. First point, take one porcelain plate, clean and dry it. The plate must be very clean so that it does not interfere with the reaction. Second point, with a wax pencil, draw 3 circles on the plate to divide the surface into 3 parts and draw 3 circles, one in each part as shown in figure 13. Students, observe carefully figure 13. Third one, place one drop of the corresponding antiserum near the edge but within each of the circles as shown in figure 14. Students, observe carefully figure 14. Okay ma. Fourth point, choose a finger, clean this fingertip with alcohol in a cotton ball and let it dry. Keep the cotton ball nearby as it is needed again. Dangle the hand down to increase the amount of blood in the fingers. Fifth one, press on the bottom of the fingertip with the thumb of the same hand and quickly prick the fingertip with the help of a needle. Note, this is important, the needle is sterile, so do not touch the tip with anything before using it. Sixth one, quickly let one drop of blood get into each circle but not touching the antiserum. Do not touch any of the antiserum. Seventh one, after putting 3 drops of blood, apply gentle pressure to the wound with cotton ball. Remember to properly dispose the used needle. This important one. Eighth point, seize a toothpick to mix the blood and antiserum and stir gently. Do it for each of the circles using a fresh toothpick every time. The wax pencil circle will help to keep the sample isolated. Next point, watch to see if any of the samples show agglutination. The agglutination will appear as the grainy clumps of red blood cells suspended in a clear solution. RH is slower to agglutinate, so do not give up too soon. Students, observe figure 15 carefully. Result and inference. Determine the blood type depending on the result. Following table can be used to determine the blood type. Table, determination of blood group. Observe table students. Consider anti-A and anti-B. If the agglutination is anti-A is yes and in anti-B is no, then the type is A. Next, if the agglutination in anti-A is no and in anti-B is yes, then the type is B. Students, clear? Next, if the anti-agglutination in anti-A is yes and in anti-B is also yes, then the type is AB. Next one, if the agglutination is anti-A? No. And anti-B is also no. Then the type is O. Students clear? Next, independent of whether agglutination occurs in anti-A and anti-B serum, clumping may or may not occur in anti-RHD serum. If agglutination occurs in anti-RHD serum, the RH factor is positive, and if it does not, the RH factor is negative. Students, observe the table carefully. See the students. Headings Group A, Group B, Group AB and Group O. So these also blood group. First of all, who discovered blood group? Invented blood groups Karl Landsteiner, a German doctor, found a new blood relation among us. He divided human beings into 4 major groups. They are Group A, Group B, Group AB and Group O. Now I am explaining the table. Observe carefully. Human blood are into 4 groups: A, B, AB and O. So we have given this grouping based on the antibodies and antigens present in blood. Antigens and antibodies are also present in our blood. Now observe the table. In RBC, antigens are present, and in plasma, antibodies are present. Antigens are different types: antigen A and antigen B. Antibodies are also different types: antibody A, antibody B. Depending upon the type of antigen present in RBC, depending upon the type of antibodies present in plasma, the blood group is decided. Say for example, if A group person, in plasma antibody B is present, and in RBC antigen A is present. So clear students? In B group, A antibodies is present in plasma and B antigen present in RBC. Next, in AB group, no antibodies are present in plasma and both antigens A and B are present in RBC. Next one, in group O, antibodies A and B are present in plasma and no antigens in RBC. Students clear? Next, AB group human beings can receive the blood from any other groups, hence they are called universal recipients. O group people can donate the blood to any other group, so these people are known as universal donors. Now we will discuss remaining tissues. First one, muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is a soft tissue that makes up the different types of muscle in animals and gives the ability of muscle to contract. Muscle tissues vary with function and location in the body. In mammals, the 3 types: 1. Skeletal or striated muscle tissue. Second one, smooth or non-striated muscle tissue. Third one, cardiac muscle tissue. Students, observe the table carefully. First one, skeletal muscle or striated muscle has striated tubular multi-nucleated fibers, is usually attached to skeleton, is voluntary. Next one, smooth or non-striated muscle had spindle-shaped non-striated uninucleated fibers, occurs in walls of internal organs, is involuntary. Third one, cardiac muscle has striated branched uninucleated fibers, occurs in walls of heart, in involuntary. Next, nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is found in the brain, spinal cord and nerves. It is responsible for coordinating and controlling many body activities. The cells in nervous tissue that generated and conduct impulse are called neurons or nerve cells. These cells have three principal parts: the dendrites, the cell body and the axon. Students, observe the diagram and draw it in your notebook. Now we will discuss in detail about nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is found in the brain, spinal cord and nerves. It is responsible for coordinating and controlling many body activities. It stimulates muscle contraction, creates an awareness of the environment and plays a major role in emotions, memory and reasoning. To do all these things, cells in nervous tissue need to be able to communicate with each other by way of electrical nerve impulses. The cells in nervous tissue that generate and conduct impulse are called neurons or nerve cells. These cells have three principal parts: the dendrites, the cell body and one axon. The main part of the cell, the part that carries on the general functions, is the cell body. Dendrites are extensions or processes of the cytoplasm that carry impulses to the cell body. An extension or process called an axon carries impulses away from the cell body. Students, observe the flow chart and note. Animal tissues are four types. First one epithelial, second one connective, third one muscle, fourth one nervous tissues. First one epithelial tissues are five types. First one squamous epithelial, second one cuboidal epithelial, third one columnar epithelial, fourth one ciliated epithelial, fifth one stratified squamous epithelial. Connective tissues are four types: areolar, adipose, skeletal and fluid. Areolar tissues, two types. First one tendon, second one ligament. Skeletal tissues, two types: bone and cartilage. Next one fluid. Fluid, two types: blood and lymph. Third one tissues, muscle tissues. Muscle tissues are three types: striated muscles, second one smooth muscle or third one cardiac muscle. Fourth type of tissue, nervous tissue. Now we will have quick recall about the things we learned today. The animal cells are grouped together to form animal tissues. These tissues vary in their structure, function and origin. The animal tissues are divided into epithelial, connective muscle and nervous tissues. Let us have a glimpse of each type of animal tissue in detail. First one, epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues form the protective covering and inner lining of the body and organs. Second one, connective tissue. Connective tissues develop from the mesodermal cells of the embryo. They support and bind other tissues in the body. The connective tissues perform the following functions. First one, they attach organs and tissues together. Second one, they store fat in the form of adipose tissues. Third one, they help in repairing tissues. Fourth one, they prevent the organs from mechanical shocks. Fifth point, the organs also help in defense. Third one, muscular tissue. The muscular tissue develops from the mesoderm of the embryo. It is classified into three types. First one, skeletal. Second one, smooth. Third one, cardiac muscle. Muscular tissue performs the following functions. First one, it helps in movement and locomotion. Second one, it supports the bones and other structures. Third one, it is responsible for peristalsis and parturition. Classification of muscular tissue. The muscular tissue can be classified as classification function. First one, skeletal or striated muscle. Provide support, help in movement and maintain homeostasis. Second one, smooth muscle. Function, this helps in peristalsis and other involuntary functions of the body. Third one, cardiac muscle. Function, it helps in blood circulation and keeps the heart pumping. Explain the table. The muscles, first one, cardiac muscle. The muscles present in the heart are responsible for pumping of blood. The cells are long branched and have nuclei. Cells are joined to each other at their end. All the muscle cells in cardiac muscles have striations. Though it resembles the striated in its structure, it is an involuntary muscle. Second one, smooth muscle. The movement of food in alimentary canal or the contraction and relaxation of blood vessels are involuntary. We cannot really start them or stop them simply by wanting to do so. Smooth muscle or involuntary muscles control such movements. They are also found in the iris of the eye, in uterus and in the bronchi of the lungs. The cells are long with pointed ends and having a single nucleus. They are also called unstriated muscle. This helps in peristalsis and other involuntary functions of the body. Third one, skeletal muscle. We can move some muscles by our conscious effort. For example, the muscle present in inner limbs move when we want them to and stop when so decide. Such muscles are called voluntary muscle. These muscles are also called as skeletal muscles as they are mostly attached to bones and help body movement. These muscles show alternate light and dark bands or striations. As a result, they are also called striated muscle. The cells of this tissue are long, cylindrical, unbranched, and having many nuclei in the body. Skeletal tissue use provides support, help in movement, and maintain homeostasis. Fourth one, nervous tissue. Nervous tissue makes up the peripheral and the central nervous system. It develops from the ectoderm of the embryo. It possesses the ability to initiate, transmit the nerve impulse. Its components include neurons. These are the structural and functional unit of nervous system. It comprises an axon, cell body, and dendrites. With this, we have recalled everything today. Now I have given some assignment questions. First one, what is tissue? Second one, how many types of tissues and what are they? Third one, differences between striated muscles and cardiac muscles. Fourth one, explain the types of connective tissues. Fifth one, draw and label the parts of neuron diagram. Once again, first one, what is tissue? Second one, how many types of tissues and what are they? Third one, differences between striated muscles and cardiac muscles. Fourth one, explain the types of connective tissues. Fifth one, draw and label the parts of neuron diagram. Kindly completed them. Thank you.